Hey guys, thanks to everyone who tuned in to the live streams yesterday. I actually did two. The first one focused on Nintendo Switch controllers. This is not a Nintendo Switch controller. It's a Wii U Pro controller, and one of the things I talked about in the video was that I was very tempted to buy 8-bit Do or the Mayflash adapter, or 8-bit Do. I never know how to pronounce that. But I was very tempted to buy one of those adapters, one of those Bluetooth adapters that allow you to play any controller. And I was tempted to do that because this is a good controller, but I really don't like where the button layouts are on this. They're quite low. If you see them there, they're quite low. And I always find myself, hitting the top button as the bottom button. I was just kind of mixed up with it. I did look at some third-party controllers, but in the end, I just opted for the Switch Pro. Kind of the de facto controller that everyone says to get for the Nintendo Switch. I do know and I do acknowledge that there are other controllers out there, but I think this ticks most of the boxes. And it's got the kind of Xbox One layout. So I'll do an unboxing and play about with it for a few days before I do a review of it. But I'm looking forward to playing that because last night in the live stream, once again, I played Mario Odyssey. I had a lot of fun with that game. I'm looking forward to playing it with the Pro controller rather than the Comfort Grip. So it'll be good to play that and the Zelda games and other games with that controller. But what I'd like to do in this video is talk about a new NEOGEO Arcade Stick, which is coming out. It was just announced yesterday. And I would also like to talk about the BittBoy PocketGo, which is a handheld emulation device, a little bit bigger than a Game Boy Micro. This was suggested by NEOGEO last night in the live stream, so thanks to him for that. So I'll jump over to my browser now, and you can see the news release. So this is the news release from SNK, and you can see it was just dated yesterday. So this is it's kind of like a gaming console, arcade, retro console all in one. Comes with 20 classic SNK fighters pre-installed. So unique fighting stick. Let me see, what's it got here? 430mm by 215 by 125. Looks like it's quite a well-made device, I think. Absolutely no information about price yet, guys, so it could be $50. My guess is it's probably going to be around the 100, 150, but I am totally guessing. But just going by how they've priced things in the past. Can I get a larger image with that? Let me see. Copy image location. The images are quite small there, aren't they? Okay, that's a little bit better. So you've got the joystick, mode indicator, and then you've got the buttons. So there's 8 arcade buttons there. Turbo button, options button, select, start. At the back, you've got an HDMI output port, USB port, headphone, NEOGEO Mini pad port, NEOGEO Mini pad port. So it can be extended. So the different modes here, you've got joystick mode, where you can just use this as a joystick with the NEOGEO Mini, and I have covered the NEOGEO Mini before. I think the NEOGEO Mini is quite an interesting little thing, but it's not something that appeals to me. Just the reality is that I wouldn't play this. It's just too small and impractical for me. It's a nice kind of gimmick, but I just don't see myself ever playing it. The fact that this works with that though is pretty cool, certainly if you've got that hooked up to something else. You can also do it in console mode with this, plugs into your television, and then you can use other controllers, the NEOGEO Mini pads, you can use it with that. So it looks like quite an interesting, versatile little thing, but NEOGEO are certainly doing something different here. I know this isn't going to appeal to everyone. They've really went left field here. Rather than going with something like a SNES Mini or Mega Drive Mini, they've went for the NEOGEO Mini, which is a portable arcade system. They're sticking to the arcade roots, but the NEOGEO Mini, I think it kind of misses the mark for me. This is maybe a little bit more practical, but then as a part of me that thinks, well, why didn't you just have a console with 2 separate controllers? I can see pros and cons, and yeah, I'm not going to criticize them for doing something different, because in the gaming world, certainly in the tech world as well, where everyone just kind of watches what everyone else does and then copies and, wash, rinse, repeat. It's good to see some companies taking risks. So if you're a NEOGEO fan, if you're looking to get 20 fighting games pre-installed, they don't actually have a list of it here, of the exact 20, but yeah, keep tabs of that one, guys. It will be out soon. So on to the PocketGo. Now this was suggested by NEOGEO, and as you can see at the top of the page, this is coming from the same people that released the popular BittBoy. So you've got the original BittBoy, which is kind of like an imitation Game Boy with 4 buttons. which I can't even show you because it keeps scrolling across. But yeah, that was the popular BittBoy. Very, very popular, the BittBoy. And I'll just click on that to show you there. So there's the BittBoy. It is just kind of like an imitation original Game Boy. It's smaller, it's lighter, and it emulates lots of different games. But what they've released, and the one that NEOGEO suggested that I take a look at, is this one. This is a PocketGo. Retails at only $40. For some reason, it's just below $60 in the USA. It looks like they don't have many distributors there. But here in the UK, yeah, £40. There's a few reviews of it already. It looks like quite an interesting device. It looks basically like a Game Boy Advance, but I've looked at this video, and I'll kind of just skip ahead here, but you can see them comparing it to a Switch, you know, as far as the size and all that, comparing it to a Super Mario World cartridge. It is small. It is kind of Game Boy Micro small, 12.3 by 5.6 by 1.4 centimeters. So yes, that is very, very small. So if you look at the specs here, high quality 2.4-inch IPS display screen, tempered glass, supports save states, save then continue where you left off. That's, you know, par for the course, but it's also very good. Add your own games via micro SD card. Upgrade to custom firmware to add even more classic systems. Now, it's got an L and R button there. It's got 4 buttons there. So it kind of is like a Game Boy Advance as far as the button layouts go and all that. You know, you get 4 buttons, you've got L and R. So kind of like SNES layout. You can load games from the micro SD card, but look at this. This supports the NES, the Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, SNES, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Master System, PC Engine and TurboGrafx, Neo Geo, MAME, and even PlayStation 1. I'm really liking the look of this. I'm tempted to buy this. I'm not sure how much I'll play it because I've already got a Game Boy Micro that's been flashed, but I do like the idea of this, you know. So you've got some of the tech specs there, 32 megabytes of RAM. It's got this CPU here, never heard of it. Port headphone jack, micro SD card. It's got a 1000 milliamp battery, which should be, is that 10,000? No, it's 1000. Weight 100 grams. This is the kind of thing that you would get and you would just put it in your pocket. I think it looks great. I really do think this looks really good, and the reviews seem quite positive as well. I'm all for devices like this, and you know, for years, people like ourselves had to emulate devices ourselves. You had to buy devices like this. We are seeing, I wouldn't say that the mainstream companies like Nintendo and all that are embracing emulation, but they are kind of giving people their what would you call it? Their injection of retro nostalgia by bringing back like NES and SNES games on the Switch and things like that. But it's important to realize that, you know, it's systems like this that have really kept emulation alive. I think this looks really good. Stay tuned, guys. I might pick this up one time because I'm very, very tempted to see what this is like. I think it looks quite good, and I think at £40 as well. And it also comes with an 8 gigabyte micro SD card. I think that's quite a good deal. I really do. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of devices out there. From China, etc. Some of them are even like $10 or something like that. But the BittBoy was extremely popular. It really was. It's got a large fan base. So I suspect that this will be quite well made. So guys, thanks for watching, as always. So yeah, the NEOGEO Arcade Stick. Am I going to buy that? Probably not. I mean, it looks good. I like the idea of it. They're doing something a little bit different. It's kind of like their mini arcade system there, their NEOGEO mini thing with it. It's an interesting concept, but in reality, I'm not sure we play it that much. This one is a little bit better. You know, you've got the arcade stick. You can just plug it into any monitor or television, and you know, you can just play. But I would have liked maybe if it was an option of having a 2-player mode, maybe that you can just plug in somewhere, and then you've got like a full arcade system. They've not been down that road, but it's an interesting concept. My guess, though, is that it's going to be quite expensive, and you'd probably still be better off buying a Raspberry Pi with an arcade stick. But the BittBoy Retro Go thing, I think that does look good. And sometimes when these things come out, you're always like, yeah, it looks good, but it's quite expensive. But $40, £40, you really can't criticise them for that. That's a very good price. And it lets you emulate pretty much every system up to the PlayStation 1. So for the kind of 2D generation of games. Yeah, there's a lot of games that you can put on that, so it's very interesting. I'm very tempted to buy it. I've bought a lot of games recently. The only thing holding me back is the fact that I've bought a crap load of games. I've bought the Switch, I've bought a lot of things recently, and you know, there is a risk it will just sit there. But it's something I might revisit in the future. I think it looks quite good. So I'll leave a link to the NEOGEO announcement, to the BittBoy Retro Go page as well. Let me know what you think about it down below, guys. As always, I do like to hear your opinions, so please do post a comment, and I'll speak to you all very soon. And stay tuned, guys. I'll try and do another live stream today or tomorrow. So yeah, until then, take care.